Welcome to Team 1's RIVERTREE Academy Development Proposal Presentation. Thank you for your attendance.
I'm Keenan. I was the architect for the group, and I'm from Raleigh, Texas.
And my name is Harold. I'm a construction management student from China.
I'm Srivastav. I'm studying construction management and I'm from India.
I'm Soumya. I'm from construction management from India.
And my name is Corin Green, and I was the land developer for this project, and I'm from Athens, Georgia. So why should we bring this project to the Como neighborhood? Because there's a need. The citizens of Como need a project that will provide better, well-equipped educational system, socioeconomic advancement, and a project that will bring about positive influences that will foster a better sense of community pride in that area. There's also a need in the Fort Worth area as well. With one-fourth of deaths contributed by heart disease and obesity, there's a need for a better access to healthier lifestyles. And the fact that this site has prime farmlands, we want to maximize crop yield and produce better foods that can lead to those healthy lifestyles. So we believe that this development can provide a second chance at life, as it did in the case for Corey. We believe that God had a plan for him, and we believe that that God has a plan for this project to equip those people with the necessary skill sets so they can change their world. If we empower the people, we can rejuvenate the community. So how did we get to this point? Well, we first started off with strategic design analysis. And if you pay close attention to both of these maps, you see that hydrology and soils play a very important role in site allocation and structure placement. We want you to pay close attention to soil number 9 and soil number 63 because those were prime farmlands. And once again, we want to maximize crop yield and produce as many crops as possible so we can provide that healthy lifestyle that we're talking about. That led to this overall design site plan, which is a unique blend of structure and the natural environment. To talk more about the architecture, our architect Ken will come forward.
So after we analyzed the site, we began looking at alternative energies. The first thing we looked at was wind, and we found that Fort Worth averages 10 miles an hour on wind speed. That is not enough for wind turbines. So next thing we looked at was solar panels. We found because of cloud cover, because of the debris from the farm, solar panels are not going to do it. It's going to be $3 million just to upstart it for the school and a 40-year investment. So we started looking at daylight, and we found out that Fort Worth receives an abundant amount of daylight, and that amount of daylight can be used to save energy. So our focus is going to be that. The first thing you're going to notice about the barn is that it's not red like you guys have talked about, it's green. And that is deliberate. We want this to be a new identity for RIVERTREE. We don't need the conventional red, we need to scale it down. So the barn is used as a multifunctional space for eating, meetings, and Sunday school before the chapel is built. Next up is the school. The school is designed for 200 students, and there is light in every classroom. Daylight promotes healthier learning, education, and retention. If you look here, you'll see the library wraps around an exterior amphitheater. We did that on purpose. By putting it there, we believe the library is more accessible and more usable to students. Next up is the dorm. The dorm is situated so that there are 2 green roofs for farming, and the students can take the information they learn and go back to their communities and help out. In the center, you will see an architectural detail. That is phenomenal transparency. Everyone sees a diamond in it, but there is no actual diamond. What that is the pitch of the stairs matches the pitch of the roof. Next up is the field house. It has facilities for 200 students and an upstairs basketball court. The chapel. The chapel was inspired by Faye Jones' design of Thorn Crown Chapel, the hope many of you are familiar with. But to accentuate the miraculous and the angelicness of church, it's a system of lights, water, and mirrors that create a floating effect, which you can see in the image right here. And finally, the faculty housing. The faculty housing is designed to house either 2 small families or 2 small couples. The idea behind it was that anything above the wall height is glass, so whenever you're inside the building, you have a view to the sky. Sammy?
Thank you. This project is designed to be built in 8 phases through 8 years. The project start date would be September 2015 and end date would be July 2023. The phasing is done so that the construction work will take place over the summer break every year so that there is minimum interference with the school activities. This is done keeping in mind the staffs and the students' safety and the funds available annually for the development of the project.
Thank you so much. keeping the interest of the keeping RIVERTREE Academy's interest in mind, we decided that to minimize the project's risk and to maximize to minimize the project's risk and maximize the owner's control over the project, we decided to use design-build methodology for the project delivery method. The procurement method is going to be price-based, and the compensation method is going to be guaranteed maximum price.
So when you look at this project summary of our estimation, you can know that our total building cost now is around $10 million. So well, how do I further lower the cost down for you? How do I make the building more efficient? And so I ran the energy analysis through the Green Building Studio. We compare our current model with some design alternatives, and it turns out that just by installing the triple OE glass and the cool roof, and we can cut down your energy cost by 40%, and we can cut down your carbon emission by 45%. And by applying those high efficiency plumbing fixtures, we can save you over 40,000 gallons of water each year. So at this point, after having a high efficiency building, we think it is totally doable for you guys to apply for the LEED certification. So the total score for the LEED is 58 points, which leads you to LEED Silver. And with only like $44,000 of investment, you can get your money back in 8 years. Next, we'll play the construction video.
Hello, welcome to Team ENFOLD project. We're planning the RIVERTREE Academy Awards Banquet. Let's take a look at that side. RIVERTREE Academy is located in the southeast corner. Dark areas are your layout, while the orange lines dictate the construction exits. And how are we going to mobilize this?
Great question. First we install the fence, then the storage and trailer containers, then move the crane to the desired location. The concrete truck displays the exit. Fence will be relocated to ensure children's safety.
Thanks, Gordon. Let's take a look at that phase plan. In the first phase, we will build the minimum buildings required to start the school. In the second and third phase, we will continue to grow the school while also building more dorms. In the remaining 5 phases, we will construct the rest of the dorms, the faculty housing, the chapel, the field house, and a soccer field. And finally, the amphitheater. To explain the construction method, we'll look at the school. To begin construction, we will drill our piers into the ground. Next, we will place beams over the piers and allow mesh screen underneath so that wind can funnel through. Then the concrete slab is poured. Once it is cured, we will place it on top, followed by truss holders. Using mobile cranes, we will lift prefabricated trusses into place. We will then install the main roof and the roof over the atrium. Once the roof is in place, we can then construct the exterior walls, and then place hardy board on the outside. Then we will install the interior walls and place the stone-based walls on the exterior. We will then install the inside and outside flooring. Finally, we will install the glazing and the rest of the finishings. The most exciting feature of the school is the wraparound library, which faces an exterior amphitheater. The dormitory building houses 14 students, but also a green roof which they can use to farm. Thank you!
So after seeing all that, what is the bottom line for this project? Well, we're happy to announce that we stay well within the budget required and have a total development cost of $20.8 million. So as far as activation of the site, we strongly feel that, first of all, you need to involve the community in every aspect of this development process. Let the problems be known, provide real solutions, meet with investors, and also look for government funding. For example, the United States Department of Agriculture may actually be able to provide grants to help fund this project. Facilities management. So when we consider facilities management, we encompass the entire site and try to generate a realistic number that it will take to facilitate the operating costs per year for this site. So we came up with a price of $2.9 million. And once again, that's encompassing the entire site, the buildings and the land. Okay, so the quadruple net value rating system is an assessment platform we use to bring out the strengths of our project or locate those strengths. So from a social cultural value standpoint, it's a safe, well-lit environment that facilitates that healthier lifestyle we're trying to achieve and education. From an economic value, it raises property values. The site has its own chance to generate money in the form of farmers markets, and also supplies a lot of jobs to the area. From an environmental standpoint, we have a lot of open green space. Our buildings conserve energy, and we also facilitate education, environmental education. From a sensory value, the iconic architecture, the water features, and the edible gardens will stimulate all 5 senses. So as far as the land is concerned, we really appreciate the openness of this land and the flatness of it as well. And our only concern is this plot of land in between plots 2 and 3, which we reserve for cattle and grazing, and we want to know if we can also use